What if the biggest star in women's basketball vanished from the WNBA overnight? Not injured, not suspended, but willingly walking away. For good, because that's exactly what might happen. Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom who's been single-handedly filling arenas, breaking records, and dragging the WNBA into the national spotlight, is being courted by a rival league. And not just any league, one that's willing to drop a Lionel Messi-style bag just to make her the face of something new. We're talking millions of dollars for just 8 weeks of play, ownership stakes, revenue shares, influence, power. In short, everything the WNBA refuses to give her. And now, the entire future of women's basketball may come down to one decision. From a 22-year-old with a jumper and a nation hanging on her every move. Because if Caitlin Clark leaves the WNBA, the consequences could be catastrophic. So, is this the beginning of a bold new chapter for women's sports? Or the moment everything falls apart? Let's break it down. Lionel Messi didn't just sign with Inter Miami. He redefined what it means to be a superstar in modern sports. When he left Europe, he wasn't just handed a fat paycheck. He got partial ownership of the team. A share of revenue from Apple's MLS season pass. Exclusive endorsements. Creative control. A seat at the table. That deal wasn't just about playing soccer. It was about building a legacy. And now, Caitlin Clark is staring down a similar offer. But this time, it's not for a global soccer icon. It's for her, according to insiders. The new Unrivaled league is preparing a package that could change everything. A jaw-dropping deal reportedly worth $1 million for just 8 weeks of play plus equity in the league, potential revenue sharing, and full-blown star status as the face of their launch season. Let that sink in. $1 million in less than 2 months, while the Indiana Fever pays her less than $80,000 for a full year of work. And that's just the beginning. Unrivaled isn't just offering Caitlin money. They're offering her the Messi treatment, a chance to be more than a player, a chance to be a movement. They want her to be their Messi, their Jordan, their Serena, the athlete that doesn't just compete, but shapes the entire sport. And the craziest part, she's already earned it. Clark is currently ranked number 4 on list of the most marketable athletes in the world, 1 spot ahead of Messi himself. She's already outdrawing NBA players in TV ratings. Entire arenas are moving venues just to handle the overflow when she comes to town. And she's still in her rookie year. So when Unrivaled puts this deal on the table, they're not just betting on a player, they're betting on a phenomenon. But the question isn't whether Caitlin Clark deserves the deal, it's this. Why would she even consider walking away from the WNBA in the first place? Because the answer, it reveals everything that's broken in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark should be the WNBA's crown jewel. She's the biggest name in women's basketball, drawing in millions of new fans, selling out arenas in every city, and boosting national TV ratings to levels the league has never seen before. And yet, she's being treated like an afterthought. Let's talk numbers. While LeBron James is cashing checks for $48.7 million, Caitlin Clark's base salary with the Indiana Fever is just $76,535. Let that sink in, $76,000. That's less than what some NBA players spend on a single night out. Even rookie bench warmers in the NBA are making millions. Caitlin, she's putting the entire WNBA on her back for the price of an entry-level office job. Yes. She's earning money off the court. Nearly $28 million through endorsements with Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, Bose, and more. But here's the problem. She's making everyone else rich, and still getting shortchanged by the league she's carrying. She doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. And yet, when controversy strikes, when games get chippy, or when officiating becomes suspect, it's Caitlin who gets blamed. It's Caitlin who gets shoved to the floor. It's Caitlin who's told to know her place. Instead of being celebrated as a generational talent, she's been left to navigate a league that seems more threatened by her stardom than inspired by it. Where's the gratitude? Where's the long-term vision? Where's the acknowledgement that, without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA wouldn't even be part of the national conversation right now? And maybe that's the point, because the league that should be building around her is barely protecting her. It's not just about the money, it's about respect. And if the WNBA cantor won't treat her like the star she is, someone else will. That someone is already knocking on the door, because while the WNBA scrambles to keep up, a brand new league is rising and they've got a plan that just might blow everything up. While the WNBA drags its feet, a new player has entered the arena and they're not here to play nice. It's called Unrivaled, And if the name sounds aggressive, that's because it is. Co-founded by WNBA stars like Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. This league was built for one purpose: to finally give women's basketball the financial power, cultural weight, and star treatment. It's long deserved, without the excuses. Unrivaled is flipping the script. They're offering the highest average salaries in the history of women's pro sports. They're giving players equity in the league, not just a jersey, but a stake in the future. And here's the kicker: your social impact and reach actually affect your earnings. In this league, popularity isn't punished, it's rewarded. And who's the most impactful player in the sport right now? You already know the answer. Caitlin Clark isn't just trending, she's dominating. Her name is a marketing magnet. Her highlights go viral before they finish airing, and she's currently the most recognizable American athlete under 25. That's why Unrivaled isn't just interested in signing her, they're betting the entire league on her. Of the 30 roster spots, 26 are already filled, including names like Chelsea Gray and Angel Reese. But they've left room for the big one, the game changer, the face of their revolution. Everything about this league, from its Miami launch in January, to its short 8-week season, to its partnership with TNT Sports, is tailored to make a splash. Fast-paced 3v3 games, high pay, prime media exposure. They're not easing into the market. They're coming in like a tidal wave. And make no mistake, they want Caitlin Clark front and center. They've watched how she's filled arenas and moved entire markets in just one season. They know she's the one player who can bring in viewers, sponsors, and credibility immediately. To them, this isn't just a business move. It's a declaration of war. And unlike the WNBA, they're not offering vague promises. They're putting money, equity, and control on the table. But can a league this new, this unproven, really hold up under that kind of pressure? And more importantly, should Caitlin even trust it? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The WNBA isn't just struggling with pay. It's struggling with something much deeper. Its image. Too many fans, players, even media insiders. The WNBA has become the most polarizing league in all of sports. Not because of the athletes, not because of the product, but because of the culture it's wrapped itself in. Instead of focusing on growing the game, building its fan base, and showcasing rising stars like Caitlin Clark, the WNBA has earned a reputation for being political, tribal, and out of touch. It's a league where entire teams wear coordinated protest t-shirts, but can't coordinate a profitable media deal. Where drama off the court gets more headlines than the games themselves. Where players, owners, and even broadcasters seem more interested in pushing narratives than pushing basketball. And in the middle of all that, Caitlin Clark, the one player pulling millions of eyes to the screen, is treated like a problem. She's too white, she's too popular, she didn't earn it the way others did. Forget the record-breaking college career, forget the economic impact, forget the fact that she's saving the league's TV ratings. In this culture, success is suspect, and that culture, it's turning fans off in droves. Podcasts are calling it out, sports shows are mocking it, even former players are starting to speak up. Because here's the truth, no one in the WNBA front office seems willing to say, you can't grow a league by alienating the very people watching. The WNBA has spent years demanding more money, more attention, more respect. But when someone like Caitlin Clark actually delivers all three, they act like she's a threat. And Unrivaled, they see the opportunity. While the WNBA tries to gatekeep stardom, Unrivaled is saying, come as you are. We'll build the league around you. It's not just a business model. It's a direct challenge to everything the WNBA has become. But that kind of bold vision comes with bold risk. Because if Caitlin takes that leap, and it fails, the fallout won't just hurt her. It could fracture the entire future of women's basketball. Let's not pretend this is an easy decision. Caitlin Clark may have the world at her feet, but one wrong step could ignite a firestorm. Because walking away from the WNBA, even for a $1 million deal, isn't just business, it's war. If she accepts Unrivaled's offer, the backlash will be swift and brutal. Critics will say she's abandoning the league that drafted her. Pundits will call her selfish, opportunistic, disloyal. Some will even say she's ruining women's basketball by chasing a quick check. Instead of building something bigger, and they won't whisper it, they'll blast it across every headline, podcast, and sports show for weeks. Remember, this is the same media that already questions her every move. The same players who've downplayed her success. The same league that couldn't even protect her on the court. If she walks now, they'll spin it as betrayal. And what if Unrivaled doesn't deliver? What if the league collapses after one season? What if the production is sloppy, the ratings low, the sponsors underwhelmed? Caitlin Clark will be the one who took the leap and brought women's basketball to the edge. Because whether it's fair or not, this entire movement is riding on her shoulders. That's the price of being a trailblazer. But the irony. The risk may be even greater if she stays. Because staying in the WNBA doesn't guarantee safety, it guarantees stagnation. Same low pay, same politics. Same league that refuses to treat her like the star she is. If she chooses loyalty over legacy, she might spend the next few years watching her moment pass stuck in a system built to keep everyone equal, even when one player is clearly exceptional. The truth is chilling. If Caitlin Clark leaves, she becomes a lightning rod. If she stays, she risks becoming a footnote, and in either case, the basketball world will never be the same. Let's imagine just for a moment that Caitlin Clark walks. She takes the money, joins Unrivaled, becomes the face of a revolutionary league. What happens next? At first, the WNBA will try to downplay it. They'll release statements, talk about growth for the game and new opportunities for athletes. They'll act like this was always part of the plan, but behind the scenes, panic. Because deep down, everyone knows the truth. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's the player. She's the reason your aunt, your brother, your coworker suddenly cared about women's basketball. She's the reason ticket sales spiked, the reason viewership doubled, the reason teenage girls wore number 22 jerseys to arenas for the first time in their lives. She's the one who made ESPN care. Take that away, and what's left? A league that's been fighting for relevance for over 2 decades now. Without the one person who actually delivered it, it wouldn't be an immediate collapse, but it would be a slow, public unraveling, a hollowing out of buzz, a noticeable dip in crowd energy, a painful realization that the WNBA had everything it needed and let it walk. And here's the twisted part. Some people want her to leave, not because they hate Caitlin Clark, but because they want the WNBA to finally understand what it's been sitting on. See, in real time, what happens when you treat your superstar like a sidekick. They want the league to face the music, to feel the loss, see the ratings crash, and finally admit that maybe, just maybe, they got it wrong. Because without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA will be forced to answer a question it's been avoiding for too long. Are people really watching for the league? Or were they just watching for her? And if Unrivaled succeeds, if Caitlin thrives, if viewership spikes and the league pulls major sponsors and media deals, then it's game over. The WNBA won't just lose a player, they'll lose their monopoly, their grip on women's professional basketball. Gone. That's the power Clark holds right now. And the most incredible part, she hasn't even finished her first year in the pros. Caitlin Clark stands at the edge of a cliff. Behind her, a broken system. One that cheered for her when it was convenient, but never paid her what she was worth. Never protected her when the spotlight turned toxic, and never fully embraced the power she brought to the game. In front of her, a blank canvas, a chance to reshape the future, to build something new, to put her name next to legends not just because of what she did on the court, but because of what she dared to walk away from. This isn't just a contract offer. This isn't just basketball. This is a revolution in waiting, and she's the match. But revolutions are never safe. They come with risks, doubts, enemies. If she takes that leap, there's no going back. She could be the hero, or the cautionary tale. The WNBA wants her to stay. Unrivaled is begging her to lead, and the entire world is watching to see what she do. Because make no mistake, this is her moment. Not next year, not at the end of her career. Right now. So let me ask you this. If you were Caitlin Clark, would you take the deal? Would you chase comfort? Or would you chase legacy? Would you settle for safe? Or would you become the storm? If you made it this far, you already know. This isn't just about sports. It's about power, business, legacy, and the athletes changing the game from the inside out. So don't just watch history happen, stay ahead of it. Tap that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update, and drop a comment below. Should Caitlin Clark leave the WNBA, or is this new league too risky to trust? This is Above the Rim TV, where we bring you the stories the mainstream sports media is too scared to touch, and trust us. The next chapter, it's going to be even crazier.